All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to your Chapter 3 Guidebook overview video. And to get started, I guess I'll zoom out just a little bit. Let me say that this overview video is really just a zoomed out kind of broad instructional video to help you understand the purpose of this Chapter 3 Guidebook. I'm not going to go deep into how to write each and every section of the Chapter 3. You're going to find videos like that, kind of Chapter 3 coaching tips in other Chapter 3 assignments. This is really just an overview video to help you have a better understanding of how to use this resource. So it is your chapter writing resource. This should be your primary guide for writing Chapter 3. This guidebook has everything. It tells you the purpose of each section, the general organization tips for each section, even here are specific headings. Write one paragraph about this and the second paragraph about this. So it really has this step-by-step structure for you. It's heavily scaffolded in a way that I think you'll find there's still, just because it's scaffolded doesn't necessarily mean it's rigid, but it does give you a guide. And as you know, we're working through this program, we're working through our project, our dissertation, quickly. Like we're diving right in and we're bringing it alongside our coursework. And so this guide helps you essentially step by step. What to expect in the document, it's a step-by-step guide. A lot of the ideas that you'll see here, and I'll give you these little nudges, that a lot of this information builds directly from your work in 810, in EDD 810, Strategic Design for Organizational Learning and Engagement. Now, think of 810 as like your practice run where you are really getting primed for these ideas. You will probably refer back to your writing of like some of the work that you did in 810, but you will not be able to directly copy and paste it. If you do, I caution you against it because your chair will probably turn around and say, well, what's going on here? So we expect you as a doctoral colleague to consider 810 as practice, as like your draft, and to refine your ideas here in 813. So 813 is a refinement of ideas. I've got some writing advice for you. All of these are links to extremely helpful resources. So Kennesaw State's Writing Center Meal Plan is the primary guide for how to write a structured paragraph. And although you might think you can write a paragraph, I still commend you to take a look at it and to make sure that you understand what we mean by meal plan. A sense of a main topic sentence, you then provide some evidence and analysis, and then you have a final linking sentiment. We expect paragraphs to be well organized. We expect main topic sentences to be clear and for you to primarily address one main idea in each paragraph. There's also a resource here that's really helpful, outlining in reverse. Sometimes if you write a draft, outlining in reverse can be really helpful to see, are my paragraphs really organized? Or do I have too many main ideas in one paragraph? Do I need to split them up, etc.? There's also an academic coherence coach tool for you. This is a free ChatGPT tool that our doctoral writing consultant, Kimberly Becker, created for us, and as well as a sample conversation. This tool is also excellent. If you are not checking your paragraphs with the academic coherence coach, what are you doing with your life? This is something that, this tool in particular will not write anything for you. Even if you tell it to write your paragraph, it won't do it. But it will give you coaching. It will help you see maybe where there are spots in your paragraph or your flow of ideas that are a little weak or things that feel a little redundant or confusing, and it'll help you. So this is so helpful. And then editing and revising. Kennesaw State's Writing Center also has some editing tips and some proofreading tips. And I'll probably say that I have this note that be patient with yourself. All good writers have terrible first, second, and third drafts. Every single one of them, myself included. And so that's okay. But do not submit your terrible first draft to your chair. If you submit terrible first drafts too soon, sometimes you'll have either a whole lot of feedback that you might get a little discouraged, and it will take a lot of time and a lot of effort and energy from your chair to give you a lot of feedback probably on your terrible first draft. So write these up, let them sit for a day or two, come back, edit, and revise them. Okay, so how to use this guidebook. You're going to see section by section, your chapter 3 is delineated into several sections with different headings. you're going to see essentially a guide for each of those headings. So for example, chapter 3, Theory of Improvement, this is your chapter title and your level 1 heading. These headings here directly correlate to your chapter 3 template. So your guidebook has all of the instructions and the coaching. Your template is really just your chapter template for your dissertation document. So you'll find that your template is already set up for you in APA 7 style. It's Times New Roman 12, etc. But you'll see that these headings directly correspond to your template. For each section, you've got a purpose. You have length, a paragraph length. There's content overview. There's coaching for tone and approach, organization, strategy, and guiding questions. I'm actually going to take this detail level out, so you might not see that in your actual document. And then some writing tips. So each section tells you exactly what to do. If I scroll down to stakeholder engagement, I'll just go over this section so you get a chance to see. Our introduction is usually pretty short and brief. And you will notice that we won't write our introduction until much later. You won't write your introduction to this chapter until like the very last thing. That's actually good practice. Like you don't yet know what you're introducing, so save it for the very end. But one of your first submissions will be your stakeholder engagement. This will be a level 1 heading, so it's centered, bolded. You've got your purpose, your length, your content overview, the tone and approach, organization strategy, and guiding questions. So take note here that the organization strategy is to talk about these 3 topics in this order for about how many paragraphs. So improvement science and stakeholder engagement principles, about 1 paragraph. Here's some guiding questions to help you write up that paragraph. So you might use these guiding questions in a number of different ways to jot down your thoughts. I do have a note up here, avoid writing in a call and response manner, meaning don't just sit at your computer, answer question 1, the next sentence, answer question 2, the next sentence, answer question 3. That's not, no, please don't do that. These are guiding questions and it's still up to you to craft your ideas. Turn my light on. To craft your ideas and shape them with some organization and some flow. Yeah. The second topic is rationale for stakeholder engagement, your context, 1 paragraph. And then you'll describe your stakeholder community and you'll take about 2 or 3 paragraphs to do that. And here are the guiding questions for that section. This section also has a stakeholder summary table. So anytime that you have figures or tables that are required in some of your sections of your dissertation chapters, I'm going to try to give you examples of those. So this section also has writing tips, stay organized, avoid directly identifying stakeholder roles, use descriptive roles instead. So instead of saying Mrs. Smith, I'll say the principal of the high school, right? And again, you'll find other coaching tips about this section later on. I'm just giving you a bird's eye overview. But here in this section, I do give you some sample stakeholder tables, and you'll find in your template a template table for you. It'll say table 3 point number, probably says table 3.1. You'll have the title for your table. In APA 7th, the table number is bold and left justified. The table title is on a new line, not bold, italicized. I know, they're really picky. And then your table in APA 7th mostly just has horizontal lines or these horizontal borders to the cells of your table. And the way you'll see in your template that the style of table is there. But if you ever need it, if I go to table design, you can find different table designs, right? So you choose the one with the horizontal ones. And here's an example. So this is just a made-up summary of stakeholders related to chronic absenteeism at MK Middle School, where you'll describe your stakeholders in general, a general description of them, and then the connection to your problem practice. Here's another sample table just to give you another idea of like the level of detail. The ability, remember tables, we want them to be skimmable. So you're not copying, pasting the paragraphs you had and the content above and just pasting the paragraph in the table. We use tables as visuals, right? Visual methods of organizing our ideas. So sometimes you'll see sample tables. You'll see that the next section is Theory of Improvement. It's a level 1 heading. Again, there are different topics to go through or topics to work through. overarching aim is a level 2 heading, and notice it's left justified. And it's only 1 to 2 paragraphs, so you might see a shorter sections here. So essentially, that's how to use this guidebook. You're going to find this guidebook to be, I'm going to scroll all the way up to the top, to be hopefully really helpful. You should never be sitting there stuck of like, what should I write? You might be stuck thinking of like, how do I answer this guiding question? But hopefully this gives you a really nice path to writing up your chapter 3. Now your guidebook, you probably only need to download this file one time and save it, but you're going to come back to it and use it. You must come back to it and use it for every chapter 3 assignment submission. If for some reason this guidebook is updated, your chair will make an announcement and will post the newest version of the guidebooks that you can download, the most updated file form. But for the most part, this is just a file you're downloading once. You're thinking of using as your guidebook, your textbook throughout the entire time of you writing chapter 3. And you'll find that you will have a guidebook when it comes to writing chapter 4, and it'll be really similar. And you'll have a guidebook for writing chapter 5, it'll be really similar. You'll have a guidebook for writing chapter 1 of your dissertation, your introduction, and again, it'll be really similar. Okay,